Okay, 2 claps to start. Today, we are going to be reacting to maybe the most highly requested video on the channel so far. At least definitely one of the highest requested Honkai Star Rail adjacent videos. This is going to be everything you need to know about Welt Yang before playing Honkai Star. Okay, let's get into it. Let's lock in here. A little bit of context as well. Welt Yang is currently my favorite character in the Honkai Star Rail verse. He's my only 5-star, so I'm very curious to learn a little bit more about him. So let's go.
If you never played Honkai Impact 3 before, you might be very confused as to why people lose their minds over this plain-looking grandpa that is seemingly obsessed with making anime and going on space adventures with a bunch of kids.
We were curious about that.
How do you do, fellow kids?
What?
It's okay though, without knowing
I wonder how old he is.
Backstory, well, comes out as a pretty strange guy. I even saw people saying that, and I quote, "He's ugly and I don't understand why would anyone want to play as him." And to that, I'll have to borrow a quote from a certain individual known as Jesus.
Whoa.
"Forgive them, Father, for they do not know what they are doing." Or
Okay, I don't understand that sentiment. The second I saw Welt in Honkai Star Rail, and I heard his voice lines, I saw his animations, I was like, this is quite possibly the most badass character I've seen in this game. And I've seen a guy who turns into a fucking angel and drops a meteor on everyone's head.
saying in this case. So, let me get my glasses and let Grandpa Homulabs tell you youngsters a story. A story about a hero who saved Earth countless times.
Okay,
A
so he
man
is from
that
Earth.
endured insurmountable obstacles and managed to rise to the challenge
Whoa.
every time, shouting in the face of adversity, "I am Welt of humanity, and
What?
I stand against you, Dark Queen, as a warrior guardian of the human race."
Let's go. Okay. Oh,
Okay, to be fair, his lines are a bit corny. But even so, you can't
Nah,
help
it's
but
anime.
fangirl over this man whenever he appears. It is no surprise that Hoyoverse chose him to be the one character from Honkai Impact 3 to come over to Star Rail. We even have
I thought there was more characters that came over. I guess he's like directly from Honkai Star Rail, right? I did like theorize that he's sort of like a universe hopper as opposed to the other two, because I know like there's Bronya who's mentioned, and then there's Zila who's mentioned as well, but they seem to be like references to Honkai Impact 3. Welt is like from Honkai. It's him. They just grabbed him. He ripped himself out and he drew him. He animated himself into Honkai Impact 3. That's what I think. I think he's like that. He's almost like meta fourth wall breaking. So I'm very curious to see learn about his exploits in this.
a meme in the Honkai community that Welt is just Dawei as a self-insert in the story. Anyway, here
Who's
is
Dawei? Is he
everything you
the
need to
lead
know
animators
about
or
Welt
director or
Yang
something?
before you embark on your trailblazing journey with him.
Anti-entropy. Okay, here we go.
Joachim Nokian Vartanen, aka Welt Yang, is a character with a very long history.
Joachim Nokien Vartanen, aka Welt Yang. Okay. All right.
But before learning anything about his chadliness, we must learn about the man whose name he inherited, Welt Joyce. Throughout the history of human civilization, major Honkai incidents that lead to the deaths of thousands are referred to as Honkai eruptions.
Similar to, I'm just saying this out loud, so I'm trying to keep up, because I did watch some of these animations, the Honkai Impact 3 animation. No, I didn't watch the animations. I watched something. So I'm trying to keep up here. The Honkai eruptions were very similar to the impacts in Neon Genesis Evangelion. I think they're kind of like reference from that.
These are usually accompanied by the awakening of Hershers, powerful beings that can ban physical laws. In 1952, the first Honkai eruption took place in Berlin and took the lives of 300,000 people.
Damn!
Amidst the ruins of the disaster, a young man that didn't have any memories of his past was wandering around. Due to a special property of the Core of Reason, the minds of the 300,000 deceased were absorbed into his Hersher core and allowed the man to resist the influence of the Honkai, making it possible for him to become the first Hersher that fights for humanity.
Wait, that's Welt? The collective consciousness of 300,000 people got absorbed into his Herrscher core, unless we're talking about someone else.
He was eventually found by a secret organization that combats the
Damn.
Honkai, known as Schicksal. After years of experimentation, he was transferred to the Schicksal's London division, where he met Mophead and Lobster, Einstein and Tesla
Not
for
Welt,
the first time.
Welt
He
Joyce,
also
thank
got
you,
to
thank
know
you.
a
Glad you guys are here.
scientist by the name of Elias Nokian Vartanen. There, the man was treated with kindness and respect, and Einstein even chose a name for him, Welt, which is German for world, and Joyce, after the Irish author James Joyce. In the time spent there, Welt catches the eye of Elias's son, a small and shy boy by the name of Joachim. Alas, fate would soon turn its ugly gaze upon them. They discovered that Schicksal was hiding many secrets and that Otto Apocalypse, the current overseer of the organization and a professional clown, had more important plans than fighting the Honkai. They also discovered a weapon left by a previous civilization from 50,000 years ago known as the Previous Era that was wiped out by the Honkai. The weapon was called the Star of Eden, and it was made from the Herrscher core of the Previous Era Herrscher of Earth, who had the power to control gravity and sunk an entire continent under the ocean.
I am a little overwhelmed with information here, but I'm trying to keep up. I apologize if I have, and the YouTube videos, I apologize if I have a few questions here, but let's continue on. Let's push through. I think this is all backstory anyway. But this is a lot. I'm also like very deep into Honkai Star Rail lore right now. So this is kind of like meshing with my brain a little bit. The current overseer of the organization and a professional clown had more important plans than fighting the Honkai. Okay. The Auto Apocalypse. They also discovered a weapon. So by a previous civilization from 50,000 years ago, known as the Previous Era, that's probably before the impacts. This weapon was called the Star of Eden, and it was made of the Herrscher core of the previous Herrscher of Earth. So the previous Herrscher of Earth, their core, they took that core and turned it into a weapon called the Star of Eden. I'm assuming back in the day before the impacts, maybe technology was a lot more advanced, or maybe a little more, maybe there's some lost technology, so we don't know how that happened. The Herrscher of Earth, who had the power to control gravity and sunk an entire continent under the ocean. Oh my God, I can't believe they did that to Brazil. From that day onwards, the Star of Eden became the signature weapon of the Herrscher of Reason. Okay, here we go.
From that day onwards,
thank you. Sorry, that was a lot.
The Star of Eden became the signature weapon of the Herrscher of Reason. As
okay.
things escalated, a confrontation between Otto and Welt's group was imminent.
But this is Welt Joyce. This is not Welt Yang. Sorry. Camera sent to the black hole. So Otto versus Welt, but this is Welt Joyce, the previous person. Welt means world. Joyce is after the writer James Joyce. Okay, sorry. We're catching up here. I'm a little behind. Sorry, I'm a slow learner.
Otto killed Elias and took over the body of a Valkyrie named Rihanna, causing a lot of havoc. Joyce, with very little time, managed to take control of his powers and fought back. Otto, who was pushed into a corner, decided to blow up the entire city of New York to make sure that no one who knew his secrets will live.
Oh my God.
Joyce used his remaining powers to create a barrier and protect the city from the incoming nukes.
Okay.
He was successful, but the damage he sustained was too much for his body. In his last moments, Joyce entrusted his Herrscher core and name to the young Joachim, who lost both his father and his hero on that day. After those events, the Schicksal American...
And that is Welt. What do you mean Otto did nothing wrong? This guy tried to nuke New York. So the place it did get blown up. Welt Joyce ended up shielding it, protected. However, the damages were too great, too much stress on his body. He ends up passing away, gives his Herrscher core of the 300,000 souls, their consciousness, to our boy. Our man. I can fix him. Jesus Christ, what is wrong with you guys?
Rename itself into Anti-Entropy, and Joachim, who now goes by the name Welt Yang, became the new sovereign of the organization.
Got it. Second Eruption.
In the year 2000, the Second Eruption gave birth to the Herrscher of the Void in Siberia. The Herrscher was a girl named Sirin, who was a test subject in Schicksal's Babylon Tower. Anti-entropy was forced to take action,
He's
and
so cool.
Welt engaged the Herrscher in a direct fight. He used all the might of human civilization to create a fleet of tanks, ships, aircrafts, and other weapons to stop Sirin. I think I should mention here that the Herrscher of Reason has the power to construct literally anything as long as the user has an understanding of that object's composition. Welt
Okay,
is
so very similar to, not to simplify it, that seems to be a much stronger version of the My Hero character. What's her hero name? Creati. As long as she understands its components and how it's made, she can kind of like, she opens up her titties and everything, and like it comes flying out. So it's just like Momo. Thank you, Momo. So just like a much more insane version of that. I kind of get it. Yeah, I'm trying to find things that I understand and like connected with that. Okay, cool.
almost victorious, but Otto disguised himself and stopped Welt from dealing the final blow because he needed the Herrscher's powers for his goal. Sirin escaped to the moon, where she got blessed with even more power from the will of Honkai and challenged Welt to a final battle on the giant piece of cheese. Welt was like,
Challenge accepted.
but knowing that he cannot win, he planned to blow up his own Herrscher core and take out both himself and Sirin at the same time.
Wow,
in the end, he traveled to the moon together with Siegfried, one of Schicksal's knights, and
Siegfried is a legend in maybe in German folklore. I think he's like a legendary dragon slayer. He's something like that, right? So there's lots of cool references from old folklore. Invincible knight. Yeah, he had armor or something that was like he was considered invincible, something like that. Siegfried finds shit. All right. Let's move on.
Father. Welt's plan ultimately failed, and Sirin took his core before he can detonate it. Welt died, but in a true Sigma male fashion, he already had a plan in place even for this turn of events. Since the Herrscher of Reason's core can house human minds, he transferred his consciousness into the core right before his physical body died. Then, he waited for an opportunity to strike and used his powers to construct a new body for himself. With his intervention, the tides of the battle were turned against the Herrscher of the Void, and humanity emerged victorious.
Okay. Alien space.
In the following years, Welt took up the role of a substitute teacher at a university in America. One of his students was Murata Himeko, a young girl interested in studying the stars and the galaxy. During that time, Himeko traveled to New Mexico to investigate some UFO sightings, and Welt accompanied her to keep her away from the truth.
Why you guys spamming mommy? Mommy, can we lock in, please, chat? Can we lock in, please?
Himeko traveled to New Mexico to investigate some UFO sightings, and Welt accompanied her to keep her away from the truth, since those alleged...
Wait!
And Himeko traveled...
It's Himeko! I didn't realize. I'm sorry. I am sorry. I didn't realize. It's Himeko from Honkai Star Rail. It's a different character, right? We're referencing a red-haired character named Himeko who is tight with Welt. You know, there's a connection there.
To keep her away from the truth.
I know she's a different
character. Those alleged UFO sightings were actually tests that anti-entropy was doing in the area. Himeko's father, Murata Ryusuke, was a Schicksal researcher who ran away from Aro and sought help from anti-entropy. He discovered the existence of a small and fluffy alien species called the Sugars.
They're so cute.
Befriended one of them named Peppermint. The Sugars were hiding on Earth from another alien civilization called the Sky People. The Sky People travel to different worlds to harvest Honkai energy, causing destruction in the process. In an attempt to combat one of Sky People's vanguard stones that was approaching Earth, Welt and Ryusuke boarded a rocket and flew into space. After dealing with it, Ryusuke suddenly started monologuing about humanity's potential and revealed his true intention. He wanted to steal Welt's Herrscher.
The moon! No, not the moon. Sorry, I thought he was going to say the moon. That's really sorry. That's kind of embarrassing. I thought he was gonna say he wanted to steal the moon.
Hours to fulfill his plan and free
Sorry.
humanity from this planet. Ryusuke killed Peppermint and took over his
No,
powers.
Peppermint.
With some help from the Sugars,
Oh,
Welt defeated Ryusuke and put an end to his madness. The Sugars, although grateful to Welt for saving them, decided to leave this world since their existence has been discovered.
They're so
Himeko,
cute.
who was kept in the dark,
My question about Himiko: how did Welt feel? Right, he's got this friend. What was her name? Murata Himiko, red hair, right? Kind of looks like her. And then he gets to Honkai Star Rail World all of a sudden, and he meets another redhead that's like, "Hello, my name is Himiko." He's like, "What the fuck are you talking? What are you?" Wait, he's having like a deja vu. He's probably freaking out.
gave up on her studies and joined Shixel as a Valkyrie to investigate what really happened to her father. Unlike Himeko, you don't have to join a secret military organization to learn more about the Honkai. All you need to do is subscribe to this channel and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thank you. Not much happens during this time.
Big fan.
Welt is hiding and poses as a teacher at
Damn! Okay.
Saint Freya, a Valkyrie school built by Teresa Apocalypse in the Far East. In the meantime, Cocolia, another
Cocolia. What are we doing here, guys? There's so many characters. Cocolia. Madame Cocolia from Eurilo 6. What are we doing? Another mommy's here. All of our mommies are here. I gotta stop that, sorry.
anti-entropy agent tries to take advantage of Welt's absence and take over the organization using a clone of Welt, Joyce. In the end,
Joyce,
Welt reveals his
Clone of Welt named
identity
Joyce.
and easily defeats the clone created by Cocolia, proving that no fake can ever match him.
Wow. Honkai Impact there. Here we
In the
go.
events of the game, Welt and Einstein made multiple experiments involving the Sea of Quanta, which is this strange dimension that exists in between different worlds. One day, they come
The
into
space in
contact.
between. I also remember watching this and thinking of the Sea of Quanta as like very similar to like maybe imaginary space in Honkai Star Rail. Like it's kind of like a place that connects the universe, right? It might be just like streams in the tree of life on the branches that is able to connect you to different worlds, perhaps. That's kind of what I thought it would be.
With a powerful entity known as the Serpent, who wanted to escape into reality. To prevent that, Welt sealed himself inside the Sea of Quanta to make sure that the Serpent will not escape. After the reawakening of the Hersher of the Void, Cocolia and her forces retreated to the Deep End, an underwater city left behind by the people of the previous era. There, they were attacked by Shixel forces, and left without options, Cocolia asked Teresa, Einstein and Tesla for help. After a big turn of events, Bronya ends up jumping into the Sea of
Bronya's
Quanta
here too.
and
Squad's
meets
all here, guys.
Joachim, a kid version of Welt who has prepared a set of trials for her. After Bronya cleared them, Joachim deemed her as a worthy successor to the Hersher of Reason's powers and passed the core to her.
Okay, so if the core of reason goes to Bronya, what happens to Welt? I'm curious about that. What happens when cores get passed? I guess they're fine, right? Because, yeah, let's see what happens.
They eventually meet the Serpent, who turned out to be Kevin Kaslana, one of the heroes of the previous era who fought
Kevin
the
Kaslana,
Honkai
we've heard him
50,000 years ago.
This sword, by the way, looks similar to, now that we've played through Eurilla 6 and Belobog, this looks like the Klipoth's spear, kind of. I've seen this a couple of times. It looks kind of similar.
Bronya was quickly defeated, but Welt, who stored his consciousness inside the core again, recreates his body and saves her. In the end, they were unable to stop the Serpent's escape, but managed to safely return to reality. Welt wants to let Bronya take over the core of reason and offers to teach her how to use the Hersher of Reason's powers properly.
Wow, there's a lot.
After the Honkai was sealed on the moon, Welt opened up an
Honkai was sealed on the
animation
moon.
studio where he worked on multiple projects, the most notable one being Arahato, a mecha anime that he started a few decades ago to get some funding for anti-entropy.
So the guy saves the world multiple times, whatever. He starts an animation studio and makes mech anime girls to fund his world-saving operation, which is now a side hustle. This man is built different. He is built different, isn't he? That is insane. I would watch this anime.
For anti-entropy. One day, Schicksal sent a squad formed by Raiden May, Carol Peppers, and Mr. Paycheck to San Fontaine. Their mission was to
Mr.
find
Paycheck,
and rescue Welt Yang, who disappeared in the city a few days prior. Saint Fontaine was facing an unprecedented crisis, and instead of humans, the city was full of strange mechanical creatures that turned out to be the Sky People, who were brought to Earth by Void Archives, a sentient divine key from the previous era, to get rid of the Honkai on the moon. I know.
Wait, when we were in the party car many playthroughs ago, weren't the Void Archives mentioned? This was like many weeks ago. We were talking to Shush. Is that his name? Shush? And they were talking about the robots that have gained sentience or something. And there's something about the Void Archives. I remember that. Okay, yeah, there was something like that. I do recall that. I just don't remember exactly what it was about. And that's why you read, guys. That was just a random readable we found.
Sounds really complicated, but don't beat your head around
Lots of crossover.
too much. After they've dealt with the threat of the Sky People...
Oh, this is so cool. I want this so bad. I want to build it. Ah, that's so cool.
Welt and Void Archives infiltrated one of the Sky People's spaceships. There, they found out that the Sky People are targeting Himeko, but not Himeko from Honkai Impactor that Welt knew.
Hello.
Instead, it's another Himeko from a different world, Honkai Star
Woo! There we go.
Rail Himeko. Being the hero that he is, Welt wanted to save her, but first somebody needed to save him from the Sky People's ship. Luckily, the Sugars were nearby and they didn't forget.
Oh, and it all
Welt's
comes together.
kindness, so they saved and brought both him and Void Archives back to Earth. From there, we don't really know how Welt made it to Himeko and the Astral Express. We only have this dialogue from Himeko.
Many years ago, Pom Pom and I were tasked by Herta to go to the abandoned and ruined worlds of Salsato looking for a special material called cadence glass.
In which she says that she found Welt and his friend, who is most likely Void Archives since they...
Wait, he's here. He kind of looks like that fucking guy. That guy we've met recently. Luocha, doesn't he? He looks a lot like...
They refer to him as a...
So is this man out and about? Is he running these streets?
While visiting a world called Salsoto in a mission from Herta to look for a material called Candace Glass. Most likely, after returning to Earth, Welt found a way to travel to Himeko's world, and since then, he's been stuck on the Astral Express searching for a way back home. Thankfully, his spirit and youthful vigor haven't changed, and now he enjoys a new set of adventures through the galaxy while guiding a new generation of youngsters on their journey. I mean, it's not like he has a wife and a child waiting for him back home. Oh wait, I guess you could say that he really went to buy some milk.
Wow. Okay, so Welt has been through it. Well, I didn't realize Welt was such a goat. Thank you for that video. So that does imply, yeah, that's right. You're right. That does imply that the Void Archives is just out there. He's just out there somewhere. Doing things. That's right. That is maybe the craziest backstory I've seen so far. He's been everywhere, and I will say he is a true trailblazer. He's been trailblazing from basically day one, hasn't he? Anyway, his cane has the Star of Eden. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, okay, so that makes sense why his abilities are black holes. That's really fascinating. Okay, so he kind of like tips his cane, and then black holes happen because the Star of Eden was the Hersher core from the Hersher of Earth, whose main power was gravity. So he's manipulating gravity, you say, is what you're trying to tell me. That's what you're trying to tell me. I'm picking up what you're putting down. You know nothing about the weight behind this power. Oh, shit. Guys, Welt might just be him.